Just when you thought May couldn't get more insane, somehow it did. Not only are we getting one of the craziest Travis Scott Jordan 1 collaborations, multiple other collaborations like J Balvin and Jordan, and multiple other classic Jordans along with Kobe's finally returning, but we're also getting highly anticipated collaborations like the Futura SB Dunk Low. I promised you guys that May would start off with multiple shock drops, and we already saw those with the CPFM Air Force Ones and Dunks, and the next shock drop isn't too far away. For free notifications and release guides, you could join the free Discord with the link in the description, and you could also get free Chick-fil-A there too. And of course, for early info and more beyond sneaker reselling like stock investing, sports betting promotion exploits, Amazon FBA, price glitches, and more, you could also check out Endurance on that same link. But now let's get started on the second half of May. Kicking off this second half of May, we have another Jound collaboration, this time the Jound Reebok Club C85, and there's going to be 3 colorways of these. Now, we already saw these drop on the Jound website on May 9th, but a lot of you guys who do want personals for these can now get them for cheaper, considering there should be free shipping on the Reebok website. So if you do want these for personal, they'll be available on Reebok on the 15th, but I would only recommend them for that personals. As of now, pre-sale is holding up, but there really isn't any demand behind these. The sale volume is looking terrible and there's not many bids, so I'd really just have to say personal only. But also on the 15th, in much more exciting news, we have the Futura Laboratories Nike SB Dunk Low collaboration dropping on the Futura website. In fact, you could actually enter for them on the raffle right now. The raffle ends on the 15th because that's when their official release date is going to be, but you can enter now. I have the link posted up inside of the free Discord, so again, you can feel free to join with the link in the description. But also definitely keep an eye out for a potential shock drop on the Futura website. Sometimes these websites tend to do that. They'll save some stock for a special first come first serve drop just as a surprise. And then on May 18th, we have the skate shop releases for these. When it comes to a lot of skate shop releases, most of them will do raffles, but a lot of times some of them, like Skate Park of Tampa, will randomly shock drop these throughout the day. So definitely make sure you're paying attention to your skate shop monitors in your Discord group. Endurance monitors every single one of these skate shops, and we're definitely going to be prepared for this drop. But then on May 22nd, these will be dropping on Nike sneakers, where the majority of stock is going to be released, and retail on these is $135, but you could definitely expect these to resell for much more than that. You definitely want to go full throttle on these, expect an incredible margin. But then we also have the other pair, which is coming in Sunblush Old Royal, and this is apparently supposed to be limited to just 250 pairs. Might just be friends and family exclusive. There isn't too much confirmed info as of right now, but what I will say, if there is anything, there will be early info posted inside of Endurance. Anyway, these are also $135, and obviously you could expect these to resell for exponentially more because they're going to be so limited, potentially being an F&F pair. Then on May 18th, for $190, we're getting the return of another iconic Jordan colorway. This time it's going to be the Jordan 11 Low Space Jam. Unfortunately, it is not the mid version. Those dropped back in 2016, but at the very least, we're still getting this colorway, and being spring to summertime, I definitely don't mind these being a low. I'm super excited for them nonetheless. Definitely want a personal pair, but with that said, they're probably going to end up being just that, personals, unfortunately, with the elevated retail at now $190 for Jordan 11 Lows. And not only that, but Jordan 11 Lows in general don't tend to resell too well. The pre-sale on them is already kind of low, so I don't have high expectations for these. But if you do have local buyers and you don't have tax in your state, you could avoid the platform fees. You'll probably end up making a couple dollars profit if you sell them locally. Then on May 17th, for $150, we are finally going to be getting the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low OG Canary. You could also refer to these as the Elkins High Knights because they're themed after Travis Scott's high school, which I think is absolutely awesome for the Travis Scott line. Normally, we just see these coming in brown and green and black, the typical colorways for Travis Scott, so it's definitely really cool finally getting some unique colorways on these, especially if you like sneakers that are going to get a lot of attention. These are definitely for you, and while they might be a little bit harder to pull off, if you can manage to do so, you're definitely going to catch a lot more attention. Obviously, when it comes to these, like all Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows, these are going to be extremely profitable with an incredible margin. Obviously, you're going to want to go full throttle on these. Next up, we have one of the most insane releases that we've seen in a very long time. Might be the best release, at least for myself, in May, and while a lot of new collectors might not really appreciate this, if you've been collecting for as long as I have, back in the Nike basketball days like 2012 and 2013, you know how insane this shoe is. This is the KD4 Weatherman. Now, the original pair of these would actually be reselling for $1,000 to $2,000, so this shoe was definitely a very big deal. They were super hyped up, super limited, very difficult to get, and while they're not exactly easy to pull off from a collecting perspective, this sneaker is a really big deal, especially for the KD line. But anyway, they're dropping for just $130, and considering the KD4 Galaxy held up really well between $200 and $300, allowing for a lot of easy profit there, I definitely would expect these two as well. So with that said, I would expect these to be profitable with at least a good margin, and potentially much better than that on the larger sizes, because those of which will perform the best. Then on May 22nd, we got the J Balvin Jordan 3 Rio dropping. If you guys don't recall, we already saw J Balvin Jordan 3 drop, and that was the white Medean Sunset pair, and that pair actually performed really well. Currently, they're sitting around $400 to $500. So despite the retail being high on these at $250, I do think that these are still going to be profitable with a decent to good margin, especially on the large size 10 and above. And that's even if you do have tax, you should still be able to make some money off of these. And while I don't expect them to do as good as the white Medean Sunset pair, I do still think they'll be good enough to be profitable, just slightly worse than the white pair. And of course, this is a really nice colorway in general. The black on these makes them quite wearable, but the orange gradient on the back and the sole actually makes these really unique and pretty eye-catching at the same time. Then on May 25th, for $200, we got the Jordan 12 Red Taxi dropping. If you want personal Jordan 12s, these are definitely for you. You can't go wrong with that Chicago-like colorway being black, white, and red, but unfortunately when it comes to resale, I definitely would not expect these to do well. They're just going to be personals, and in fact, you might even be able to get these below retail if you're patient in the secondary market. Then on May 29th, for $180, we got the Jordan 1 High Women's Latte. Unfortunately, although I had high expectations initially quite a few months back for these, as of now, I'm going to have to retract that and say that these are just going to be personals. As of now, pre-sale is already pretty much close to retail on these, so I definitely don't expect these to perform well. I had pretty decent expectations on these because they look similar to that Jordan 1 Mocha vibe, which is similar to the Travis Scott's. Figured a lot of people would probably want a sneaker that looks like a Travis Scott, even though it isn't, but not the case. Seems like demand still is not sufficient, at least given the amount of stock that is produced for these. So just personals, but if you do want a cheap pair of Jordans that does look similar to Travis Scott colorways, these are definitely for you. Then on May 30th, for $300, we're getting the Jordan 17 Low Lightning. Unfortunately, with the retail being that high, I really cannot see these reselling for a profit at all, so I'd have to say just personals, and you'll probably end up getting them for below retail if you're patient in the secondary market. Something worth noting though, it does apparently come with a steel briefcase, which I thought is pretty cool and pretty well deserved considering how much you're paying for these. And finally, on May 31st, ending the month off with a bang, we got another Kobe coming back, and this is the Kobe 4 Girl Dad. These are just $190, and I'd expect them to do somewhere similar to what we saw on the Philly Kobe 4, which was around $260 to $270. So with that said, you should be able to make some decent profit off of these. Nothing too crazy, but definitely a drop to look forward to, especially if you want a personal. I think these are really cool because they come with a unique type of material on top. It appears to be nubuck rather than the typical leather. I think the colorway goes perfectly with the icy outsole, so I'm definitely excited to get my hands on these. Let me know what your thoughts are on these and every shoe that's released in this month. I think this is the most insane month that we've seen so far in 2024, so let me know which pair you're looking forward to the most. And remember, for free notifications and release guides and even free Chick-fil-A, just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description below, and feel free to check out Endurance while you're there too, or just join the free group. I'd love to help you out, if even just for completely free. Other than that though, good luck on all these upcoming releases and have a great rest of your day.